Okay, this lesson is going to be all about creating pivot tables from large data sets. The last tutorial you did, where you did a little bit of cut and paste in to work out the averages, works fine, but it was a little bit time consuming. It's good skills, but you can do the same thing in a fraction of a time using something called a pivot table in Excel. So I'm going to show you that now. When you come to doing your controlled assessment, I'm going to be expecting to see lots of data collected on whatever topic you choose. I mean, house prices is an obvious one. When you budget in, it could be rental prices because you decide you're going to rent instead of buy in. But I would expect to see plenty of research and lots of data down here, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to extract this data into what they call pivot tables. Show you an example and see how many of those that we can do. It's a really quick, useful way of creating subsets of data from one large data set. So always make sure when you start that you're clicked in any cell in the table that you want. Excel's pretty clever. It can work out that that looks like a table because of the way it's formatted. So when you do yours, have yours formatted similarly. So you go to Insert, Pivot Table, and this comes up here, okay? So you'll notice that it's highlighted the entire table. Okay, we'd pick that up all the way down there, the 50 sets of data that we've got there, 50 data items, and it's picked that up. And all we need to do is choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. So we're going to go in the same worksheet, existing worksheet, and we can actually click in the cell we want the table to start. I'm going to click OK there. Now this pops up. Now I'm using Excel 2016 and in school is 2010, so it's slightly different. You'll have this view here. I don't think that pops up there, so I'm going to use this side over here to help you show this. Okay, so down the left hand side here I want the types of houses because I'm going to group them by those. So I just drop that and that becomes the rows there. You know, if you make a mistake, you can just pop up and go undo. Okay, so you can always practice and play around with these things. It's easy to change. Okay, and then next to that, then I want some value fields. Okay, I'm not going to worry about columns, and I'm going to pop price into values, and it does sum of price. So what it's basically done there is it's gone through the data, found all the D's for detached, and added them all up as sum. I don't really want that. I want to do I want to know how many of each of them there are. That's an example. So in this menu here, sum of price, you can go to value field settings, and you'll have these different options here. I'm going to do count of price, and I've got that there. So there's 13 detached. So quickly we can go through, and if the data set was 1,000, it would work it out just as quick. Or if the data set was 2,000, it would work it out as quickly. It's really, really useful feature. I can add some more values to this. So if I drop price in again, I've got the sum next to it now. I don't want that. I'm going to go to value field settings, the average. Click OK, and there you go. I've got the average of that. So as always, I'm going to format that as currency. So in year currency, and I don't want pence on it, so I'm going to round it like that. I'm going to change the font. I'm not sure why it's picking this font for pivot tables all the time, but I'm going to change it back to that there. I can change these in here to suit whatever I want, and this title here I can alter that as well. So I've got this table here. So then I could go and I could create another one. So again, I'm going to click over here in the table to do it. Insert pivot table, existing worksheet, and I want it to go there. Click OK, and this time I'm going to pop the bedrooms in. I'm going to use this over here, sorry, because that's what you've got in the rows, and the values by the side of that. And I'm going to go for, again, I'm going to update those fields, and I'm going to have count for that one, and I'm going to go and drag down again in here, and I'm going to have average for that one there, and click OK. Again, I'm going to just change the font because strange fonts being used, and as always, whenever we're dealing with money, make sure it's currency. So currency there, and I don't want any Okay, so that's taken me 5 minutes as well as talking to you to extract all that data out from there. One of the great features of this is I can actually extract that by doing a double click. Watch what happens. Say I wanted to see the 13 detached individually. Okay, I can double click on that there, and it opens up a new sheet with that extracted information for me in a new sheet. I can cut and paste that wherever I wanted. They're just values that is placed and extracted out, and then if I don't want it there, I can right click and delete the sheet. Okay, it's, you know, again here I've extracted it there and got this information out. Any kind of double click in will remove the grouping that it's done and show that to you in those there. The only thing that's a little bit different with this is it doesn't update the same as it does with others. So for example, say I've made a mistake and this one should be a 5-bed there. If I change that to 5-bed, we would expect that to go up to 12 in there. It doesn't alter. You have to go manually refresh, unfortunately. So you have to go to Data tab, and you've got Connections, Refresh All there. Click Refresh All, and now we've got from 11 to 12, and it does that. You can also, if you right-click each table and you go to the options, and you've got this Options tab here, if you go to Data and tick Refresh Data when opening the file, whenever that file is reopened, it will always refresh the data if you forgot to do it previously. And it will do that for every single pivot table that you have. Okay, so really, really useful feature. So once you've got, you know, the hard work will be collecting the data. Once you've got all that inside in Excel, you can extract very useful information from it pretty quickly. And from that, then you can start to, you know, quickly build things like you can build charts quickly, you know, and do these things. There'll be more on charts in the next one on how to update that, but it's just as an example there of how we use these and how they are very, very quick to extract data. So that's pivot tables.